Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to More Girls Next Door. In this bonus episode, we're pressing pause on episodic breakdowns to clear up something foundational. How Holly, Bridget, and Kendra each came to live at the Playboy Mansion as girlfriends of Hugh Hefner. Originally, I was going to slow drip these details, letting them surface episode by episode exactly as audiences experienced them in 2005. But as I've been recording, editing, and preparing for the launch of this podcast, I've realized something. To truly understand the dynamics, the tension, the loyalty, the jealousy, the ambition, all of it, you need the origin stories first, because these three women did not arrive at the Playboy Mansion the same way. They didn't share the same motivations, and they certainly didn't share the same expectations. Their paths were vastly different, and those differences shape everything we'll unpack together moving forward. So let's begin with Holly. Stability disguised as romance. Holly Madison's path to the Playboy Mansion was not a fairy tale romance. By her own telling, it was a calculated move, born out of financial stress, ambition, and a longing for something bigger than the life she was living. Born in Oregon and raised between Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, Holly has described herself as shy, introspective, and fascinated by old Hollywood glamour. She loved the polish, the fantasy, the idea of reinvention. After graduating high school, Holly attended Portland State University, studying theater and psychology. But college life did not feel expansive enough. In the late 1990s, she moved to Los Angeles, chasing opportunity, and as she has openly admitted, struggling almost immediately to support herself. Holly worked at Hooters and promotional modeling events. She was living in a small apartment and constantly worried about rent. That part matters because when she started attending Playboy Mansion pool parties, after being added to the guest list by Hef's physician who noticed her at a Hawaiian Tropic event, she wasn't naive about what the setup was. There were multiple girlfriends, there was a curfew, there were coordinated outfits, there was a weekly allowance. This wasn't a fairy tale, it was a structure. By 2001, at 21 years old, Holly made a deliberate decision to pursue becoming one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends. She has stated that financial stability was a major factor. Moving into the mansion would eliminate rent, provide an allowance, and place her at the center of a world she was fascinated by. Holly officially moved into the Playboy Mansion after petitioning Hef, to which he replied, "You can stay for a while and we'll see how it works out." In 2002, Holly became Hefner's primary, often referred to publicly as the number one girlfriend, a role that carried greater visibility and deeper emotional investment. In later interviews and in her memoir, she has spoken candidly about believing at one point that the relationship might lead to marriage and children. So when The Girls Next Door premieres in 2005, Holly isn't just another blonde in rotation. She's nearly 4 years in, emotionally invested, structurally embedded, and positioned at the center. And here's the key: when you trade autonomy for stability, you cling harder. Remember that when we start seeing jealousy play out. If Holly's story was about necessity, this next one was about persistence. Bridget, the long game. Bridget Marquardt's residency at the Playboy Mansion wasn't accidental, impulsive, or purely romantic. It was layered, strategic, and yes, it began while she was still legally married. Raised primarily in Lodi, a small city in Northern California's wine country, Bridget has described her upbringing as relatively traditional and close-knit. By her own account, Bridget became fascinated with Playboy at a very young age after discovering her father's magazine collection. She has said that even as a child, she was captivated by the glamour, the photography, and the idea of the Playmate title. What may have started as curiosity evolved into a long-standing ambition. At 17, Bridget wrote to Playboy asking how to become a bunny. The letter was returned to sender, a small rejection that foreshadowed the persistence her dream would require. In 1997, at age 23, Bridget married her first husband, Chad Marquardt. Academically driven and highly focused, she continued her education while married. She graduated from California State University, Sacramento in 1998 with a bachelor's degree in communications. Still holding on to her Playboy aspirations, Bridget tested for the magazine in the late 1990s, entering the Millennium Playmate search. She waited approximately 18 months for a response before ultimately learning she had not been selected. Rather than abandon the goal, she doubled down on self-improvement. In 2001, she earned a master's degree in communications from the University of the Pacific. By all outward measures, she was succeeding, academically accomplished, disciplined, forward-moving. Yet the one dream that had lingered since childhood remained unrealized. Around this time, her marriage had begun to deteriorate as the relationship was no longer aligned with the life she envisioned for herself. Reports indicate Bridget tested again for Playboy and was once more rejected. Undeterred, Bridget made a calculated move to Los Angeles, increasing her proximity to the world she wanted to enter. She first penetrated the mansion gates through a connection. A friend's brother who worked as a chef arranged a tour for her and several friends. After that initial visit, she began receiving party invitations. Her continued presence at mansion events, from fun in the sun gatherings to movie nights, allowed her to build familiarity within Hefner's social orbit. Bridget has maintained that she was always transparent about her intentions to become a playmate. She's even said she initially declined when Hugh Hefner first suggested she become one of his girlfriends. Eventually, however, she accepted. Bridget officially moved into the Playboy Mansion in 2002 at age 29. Notably, she did not finalize her divorce from her first husband until 2008, well into season 5 of The Girls Next Door. Let that sit. Bridget wanted Playboy longer than she wanted freedom from her marriage. That tells you how deep the dream ran. When you've chased something since childhood, when you've been rejected multiple times and still stayed focused, you don't give it up easily. And when that dream starts to shift into something more complicated, you protect it. Keep that in mind. Last but not least, there's Kendra, the curveball. Kendra Wilkinson's entry into the Playboy Mansion was fast, unexpected, and by her own account, life-altering. Born in San Diego in 1985, Kendra has described her childhood as energetic and athletic, but unstable. Her parents divorced when she was young, and she has spoken openly about feeling rebellious and directionless as a teenager without a father figure. By 18, she was working small various jobs, partying frequently, and living with her boyfriend. In 2004, Kendra attended Hugh Hefner's 78th birthday party. She was not there to pursue Hefner, nor was she attempting to test for Playboy. She had been hired to work the party as a painted girl, body painted and wearing little more than decorative accessories. During the party, Hefner noticed her, struck up a conversation, and got her phone number. Soon after, she received a call inviting her back to the mansion. Shortly following, Hef asked if she wanted to be one of his girlfriends. Kendra's admitted she initially didn't fully understand what that meant, but she was intrigued. She made a swift decision. Kendra broke up with her boyfriend and moved into the Playboy Mansion, remarkably quickly compared to the others and at age 18. Unlike Holly, who had studied the structure before entering it, or Bridget, who had pursued Playboy for years, Kendra's transition was abrupt. Within months, she went from sharing an apartment with her boyfriend to living inside one of the most infamous homes in America. By the time The Girls Next Door premiered in 2005, Kendra had been living at the mansion for about a year. She was the youngest girlfriend by more than a decade and was often portrayed as spontaneous, sporty, and unfiltered, a sharp contrast to the more measured personalities around her. In later interviews, Kendra has reflected on how quickly everything happened and how young she was when she made that choice. But here's what stands out to me. When you move into a power structure at 18 because someone noticed you at a party, you're not thinking hierarchy. You're thinking escape. That difference changes everything. So now let's line it up. Holly needed it, Bridget wanted it, Kendra stumbled into it. One was seeking stability, one was fulfilling a lifelong dream, one was chasing opportunity without fully grasping the cost. By 2005, America saw 3 blonde girlfriends living a glamorous fantasy at 10236 Charing Cross Road. But underneath that glossy edit, 3 completely different emotional investments, 3 different levels of attachment, 3 different things to lose. That's not just backstory, that's a power experiment. So when we return to our regularly scheduled recaps, I want you listening differently. Listen for who defends Hef the hardest, who clings to routine, who seems detached, who bristles when roles shift. Because origin stories don't disappear, they echo. And now that we understand how Holly, Bridget, and Kendra got through the mansion gates, every scene hits a little different. And trust me, we're just getting started. Thanks again, guys, for listening in. Let me know how you feel about these bonus episodes. Are they helpful? Are they interesting? How are you liking the podcast? I would so appreciate to hear from you. Drop this podcast a like or a share. If you can rate or review or subscribe, it is such a compliment. It lets me know you're enjoying the show, and it helps me determine how or if to move forward. So meet me in the comment section. I'll engage. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.
The bricks.